My name's Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator. Now, it's great to see everybody. We don't get an opportunity to visit very much. I'm excited about the season as usual. This group of kids have been fun to be around all spring. They worked hard throughout the summer. When you get that opportunity to see them, they're around doing their stuff. The leadership's trying to get better on our side of the ball. I know Coach has talked about it a lot, as we will continue to echo the same remarks. We need to continue to increase that leadership. When you lose 4 of the dynamic players we did early in the draft, it's hard to overcome those. Those kids are strong leaders, but our younger guys are starting to step up, and it's been fun to watch that take place on the football field. So you're seeing that. And watching the freshmen come in just after one day of practice, it's fun to watch them work through a 90-degree day here in Georgia, particularly some of the boys from up north. It's always entertaining to watch. If they made it through it, then I'm excited about this group. I think we're developing good depth at every position, which is ideally what you want as a coordinator. And the kids are working hard. So with that, I'm happy, good where we're sitting, but we have a lot of work to do before we play our first ball game. I'll open it up to any questions.
Coach, I'm not sure it's true, but it looks like you've dropped a little bit of weight since we last saw you in the spring. And is that having anything to do with coaching tight ends now?
No, it don't have anything to do with coach tight ends. I just woke up, I was way too big, so I've had to do some work to get some weight off of me. So hopefully that's going to help me coach and do better and serve the university a little better and my own personal health. So that's what I'm looking to do.
Jim, how much did having Jay Johnson by your side in the press box last year help, and how is it going to affect you not having him there?
Well, I don't know that he won't be there. He will be there. We haven't worked all the details out of the press box stuff and all that new protocol that we got to look through. Quite honestly, I haven't even got to that point yet. But Jay is a fine football coach. Anybody with his vast amount of knowledge, you want to use that. I'm real fortunate, We can run through my personal staff here, and I'm as happy as any coach could be in college football. I got good coaches everywhere, and I don't like to use the word "I" very much, but I will in this instance because I'm the one that benefits from it, and I'm lucky to have them. I mean, from every one of those guys, our quality control guys and our graduate assistants do a fantastic job. Jay, because of his great amount of experience, helped a lot. He's a good sounding board.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe 2 years ago you said you were fly fishing when you found out about Sonny Michelle's injury. What were you doing this year when you heard about Jake Fromm's injury, and what was your reaction like when you found out it wasn't serious?
Well, I got to go fly fishing again. I made it 3 days up there before my arm started going numb, so I had to come back and have neck fusion surgery. So I had a wonderful July. That was fun. And I think about the time I was coming home is when Jake got the fish hook in his leg and then his hand, and I don't know, he's okay. I ain't worried about Jake Fromm. He's a tough kid. He'll be just fine. And I didn't miss any fish because of it.
4 questions, and you haven't been asked about Justin Fields yet, so I guess I'll take one on that. And just kind of, just kind of how.
I think we all know how polarizing the quarterback position can be. Everybody wants to know about that spot. In my particular role, I worry about everybody. And every good football player we have, you try to find ways to get them on the field and utilize them. And right now, Justin battling at the quarterback spot, as is Jamari Saylor at the guard spot, and as is Luke Ford at the tight end spot. All that young group of kids that we brought in, they're all competing. I love him. He's a wonderful young man. He comes from a great family. He's a competing son of a gun, and he is also a hell of a good football player. So the future is very bright for him. As far as what happens in the future, as far as playing time and all that's going to take place in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And all that, who plays, who doesn't play, you guys know as well as I do. That gets down to Coach Smart's decision, so I won't get into all that. I'm just very glad he's here, and he's a part of our program competing for our starting position for our team.
Coach, I know you said you worry about everybody, but you're back in a familiar position working with the tight ends. What has that response been like from the players and having a guy like Isaac Nod being there with the experience?
I never ask them when I walk in, are you happy to see me or you're not? So some of them would probably say yes, and some would probably say no. I'm very comfortable at the tight end spot. I've coordinated from the coordinator spot, from the quarterbacks and the tight end spot. And James moving into quarterbacks has been awesome. He brings a good vast amount of knowledge in that position. He knows what he's doing there. It's just kind of a fresh breath for those guys to hear things from a different voice. He's done a great job with them. And for me, going back home to being back at the tight end spot, I'm very comfortable there also. So And those kids that I got in the room with, particularly the older guys, with Isaac and Charlie and Jackson, those kids have known me a long time, and the transition's been pretty much seamless in my opinion. I think we've done a good job in that room, and Shane had done a good job before. It just kind of worked out with the staff, just kind of switched around, and it worked out fine. And I'm very comfortable where we're at right now. I think it's actually brought a little energy to what we're trying to get done. I'm pleased with our movement and how we've done it.
When you draw up plays, tweak your playbook, having a talent like Justin Fields, what he can do with his legs, I know he can make some plays as well in that regard. How does that change things for you? What does it do in terms of your off-season planning?
Well, I think you always got to look at, it's a good question, and we think about it all the time. You know, Justin's ability to run the ball is exceptional. We don't have a vast amount of depth at that position right now. So if you start running quarterbacks, you're putting them in harm's way a little bit more, so you got to be real conscious of that. I don't know that you walk out and say because Justin Fields can run, he is a running quarterback. I think Justin Fields is a fantastic quarterback. He happens to be able to run. You know, so that's a good thing. Designing a playbook directly because he can run, I think that would be distorting from who we want to be as a football team. But it is give us some different things that we can open up in the playbook. It does open some pages to it. So as far as strategy goes, it's another skill set that we have available to us to use at any time we want to.
Coach, I know you've been a lot of different places, a lot of stops.
You don't have to remind me of all those different places.
No.
I'm home, baby. I'm where I want to be.
I got that. Yeah, I
A
don't,
lot of beacon trucks have pulled up.
yeah, well, that's a lot of talent.
I hate to hear that horn come up. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have some experience to draw on as far as playing two quarter? We've seen teams, and I know it's wide open, but have you run systems where two quarterbacks have regularly played? Do you have experience to draw on that?
Golly, I have to think back. I'm sure somewhere along one of those years we've had that situation happen. You know, you don't rule anything out. Like I say, guys, everybody wants to know about that right now because, and I don't blame y'all for asking the question at all, but we're so much in the mode of training camp right now, just trying to get every player a little bit better and cohesively working within our unit and utilizing our base offense. The mindset of game planning and putting out two different offenses hasn't, you know, you think about things like that, but my mind is so far away from that right now. I just want him to go be all he can be, let us evaluate him, see what his skill set is, and try to utilize it to the best of our ability to overall help Georgia win football games. And if it ends up being that way, so be it, but that's a long way in the future.
Coach, do you sense a different Jay coming in this year and last year? You know, he was competing for a starting job with
I do, but a little bit more because he's more confidence within the X's and O's. There's no question about that. He's got that year under him, and it's a fantastic year, and he's playing good football for us, and he's playing very confident. But Jake's personality has always been Jake. So even last year as a freshman, he was still Jake. He's an outgoing guy. He likes to talk to his teammates. He's positive all the time. So a lot of his personality traits haven't changed. The difference is familiarity, and he played 900 some snaps of football last year, and it's hard to overlook. He's a good football player. I'm glad he's here with us.
Again, on the staff and all these minds that are in the offensive room, but when you're putting together that game plan for the week, is it still on you, or are you like collecting ideas?
Collecting ideas. It's not all Jim Chaney. Don't trust me on that. When we get in the run game, it's Dell and myself and Sam a lot. We get in the passing game, it's Cortez and it's James and it's Jay and it's myself. We all collectively put it together, slap it up on the board, see where we're at. If we're heavy somewhere else, then someone will have an opinion on somewhere else. Anybody can bring up anything they want. I don't care. I worked for a guy named Gene Murphy 100 years ago. God bless his soul. I lost him a few years ago, but he told me one thing, Jim, if you ever had an opportunity to hire people, always try to hire people smarter than you. And that's always stuck with me. And I'm fortunate, and on our staff, I have a lot of really good people who are a lot smarter than I am. So I'd be a damn fool not to listen to what they have to say. And I do. And I try to do a better job of that. Routinely, I like to go at it. It's, for me, I got to bring them in and listen to them even more and more. And I'm trying to do a better job of that. And I think the guys would recognize that we are. We're in it together. And I use every bit of their skill set to help us put a plan together.
Jim, when we talked to Sam back in, I guess it was during the whole college football playoff thing.
You talked to Sam?
We did. We got a chance to
Wow.
a couple times.
Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
He was talking about Isaiah Wilson and said that, you know, early on he just wasn't ready to play, and then at some, you know, by the time he was ready to play, that you guys felt it would probably be in his best interest to kind of keep the red shirt on him. You know, how has he grown since he's been getting all these first team reps and spending so, you know, like G-Day and things of that nature, and what do you guys think he brings to you at that position?
You can't replace his mass and athleticism. What he's had to do is learn the speed of the game and how fast and how physical this game is. And he's gotten better at that. Every day of practice you see him improve. You know, where he is today and when he walks out of Georgia is going to be an incredible jump. There's no doubt about it. But I'll also add, from where he walked in the door to where he is now has been an incredible jump. He's done a real good job of working his butt off. It's very important to him. He's a large body. He can do things wrong and they got to run around a mountain to get to the quarterback. So that's a good thing for us. We like those big kids. You guys know that. And what you've got to understand, when you go big and you try to develop a team the way we try to do it with physical play in the line of scrimmage, we're going to try to beat you up front. Now with that, there are some inherent fleas that come with it. Some quicker little D linemen might give us a little bit of trouble. But we think by the end of the game, beating on you and pounding on you, our bigs will overcome. And that's kind of where we're looking at. But back to Isaiah, I think he's progressing as planned. And he's got to continue to learn the game of football and continue to practice hard, continue to compete to get playing time. I will add this, a lot of our rooms in there, you look around our offense and our football team, and I think Coach would hear this also, there's not a lot of positions that are just locked up dead set on an individual right now. We have a tremendous amount of competition going on throughout our football team, which inherently makes us better, which I'm tickled with. I can't wait to watch them compete. You really don't need that mic. I mean, I can hear you.
I agree with you. Just stay with Claude's.
That's the way Claude does it. I got it. I don't do nothing Claude don't tell me to do either.
So you've got Marion, Holyfield, Zamir, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, 5 running backs, very gifted.
I feel so. I think they're good football players. Look forward to watching them go play. You know, there's a lot of talent there in that room. Everybody tells me, hey, how good you're going to be. But I still look for those 2 kids that we had last year walking down the hallway, and they ain't showed up yet. They're gone. They're history. The kids we have, we like. We think they're going to be good football players. But to go out on the field and perform, they've yet to do that. So we've got to watch them do that, watch them go play. We're excited about it. We're optimistic about it. But the rubber hits the road in about a month when we go out on the field and play, and we'll find out where we're at that time. But we sure like those kids. I'd rather be in our position than a lot of other people's position. We have good talent at that spot. They're great kids, and excited about watching them and being able to utilize their individual skill sets. Just more little piece of cards we can use to put a little puzzle together. I like it.
Jim, how do you as an offensive staff define explosive plays, and how good did you guys do in that regard? And also with this wide receiver core, if Robertson is eligible, you know, what does that do in terms of how good they can be?
You're asking a Missouri boy to remember a 3-pronged question. Run game is 12 yards or more. Pass game is 16 yards or more. We were 1 out of 6.7 plays in explosive last year, if I remember right. It's not bad. Pretty good for me. The D-Rob question, I don't even want to touch on it. Right now he's in here playing. That's over my pay grade. Whether or not he's ever going to be eligible to play, when that thing does come through or not come through, we'll deal with it then. Everything else, I'll refer to Kirby, let him, Coach Smart, deal with that one.
What about the receiving core in general?
The receiving core in general, they're older, they played a lot. You know, you got Riley, McCole, and Terry. These guys have played a lot. Trey played last year. JJ played last year. The one thing about our receiver core that you got to remember, if you think about special teams, with Tyler Simmons, Riley, Jason Stanley, all playing over 100 snaps last year on special teams, that's a game and a quarter of nothing more than special teams. In places where I've been, wide receivers haven't played that much. So that's telling you a little bit about their character. They care about the team and they're physical football players. You can't play special teams and be any other way. And we try to encourage all our kids in our room. And it's going to get down to that room. When we walk out on that bus, who's going to be on the bus is going to be who's going to play on special teams. If you have a first-round wideout, maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know for sure yet till we go play. Maybe he don't play special teams. But in our room, they have a great understanding of their need to do that, to be able to get on the bus. And that can be said for a lot of positions. We don't get to travel 110 people. We're going to travel 70. You want to be on it, go earn that spot. And we have enough competition now that the kids understand that. You don't have to You don't have to be around the bush on that stuff.
Pretty cliche question here. I saw Trent Dilfer make the comparison. Obviously, you coach Breeze. Where is Fromm at in that comparison? Like I said, it's a pretty obvious question.
You know me, I hate that stuff. I really,
It's so there.
it really is. You know, what are the commonalities? Let's just talk about that. They both have great high FBI, football intellect. They get it. They understand. They both affect other players in a very positive way. That's the two commonalities. And just start with those two, and you've got it going on from that point on. They both have proven to win football games. Okay. After that, differences I don't even want to touch on. But at the end of the day, they share those traits.
Yeah, you touched on this, but is it presumptive to think that just because you've recruited really well at the tailback position that they can automatically step in for, I guess it was more than 8,000 career yards that Sonny and
It is to me. It isn't to a lot of other people. I believe what I see with my own eyes until you go out on the field and perform and play. Now, like I say, I'm not trying to be Debbie Dowder here or anything. I'm not that dude. I'm excited about that group, but they've yet, you know, Swift went out and had, and Elijah's played a little bit, Brian's played a little bit, but in a bigger role than what they played in, they have yet to do that. So we'll wait and see how it all plays out. I'm telling you, I'm hoping I'm sitting here when I get my next chance to talk to you guys in whatever month that is, that we're able to say, yeah, boy, we're glad to have all these kids. And I think hopefully we'll be able to do that. But playing the game, guys, is so much is about recruiting now and all the stuff and all the stars and everything. It's Saturday at 1 or 3:30 or whenever you play. The game is what it's all about. At my age, it's even more profound. How do they perform? My ultimate job is to get them ready to play on Saturdays and have a strategic plan that we feel like we win the game with. And the group of kids that we have right now are working hard, and I'm excited about being a part of getting them ready to play and putting them on the field to represent Georgia.
Coach, with the group of running backs that you've got, now how do you plan on maybe getting more than one of them on the field at a time, you know, specifically with, you know, James Pickens and Aaron White? You know, they
Well, we did a lot of that last year with Swifter playing in that other halfback spot with another running back on the field. That's not foreign to us. We probably used that 70 snaps last year, which is more than everybody probably in college football. So playing with 2 or 3 wide receivers or 3 running backs on the field, it won't be foreign to us. So we have the packages to do all that. Now, can you tell me that second running back's better than that second wideout or that third tight end? Who are you going to play? I'm going to put the 11 best players out on that field to win the game. If not, Coach Smart will be looking at me like I'm the dumbest man on earth. And he really doesn't like really good players standing by him on the sideline. He really doesn't like that. So if he's one of the best, he's going to be on the field. And if we happen to have 2 of our backs are the best, they're probably going to be on the field too.
But again, for 2 more questions. With the freshmen, you know, they showed you that that's something that maybe they'd be comfortable in doing.
On tape from high school, yeah, but I've not witnessed anything but more than one practice. So it's a little premature for that. But once again, I'll add that I'm guardedly optimistic.
Looking back at this time last year, I mean, even the bowl, the Liberty Bowl press conference, you talked about how the buck stopped with you and that, you know, the offense struggled. Do you feel any different now knowing the season you guys had last year, so much more success?
Not one bit. Not one bit. You can't. When I was a young coach, I once drank that Kool-Aid and thought it was all about me. And the next year we fell flat on our face, and I learned that lesson the hard way. That what happened last year was just last year. No different than anything that's taking place to any of the people in this room. What took place last year is it going to happen next year? There's no guarantee of that. There really isn't. So you attack that year, try to become the best coach you can be. You study off season all the time. What can we do better? And that's what my obligation is to go do it. I go in every year with a great fear of failure. That's just good. I think good coaches, good at anything. You don't want to fail at anything. You want to make sure you're on the top of your game, and that's my obligation to this university and to Coach Smart is to make sure that I'm bringing my A game every year, because it does. My name's stapled on this offense, and I want it to do good.
Okay, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.